Shalom, family. Shalom, guys. I'm coming to you guys with another video. I'm up again in the middle of the night, and my dude just blew me away. Whoo, she got a sense of humor. I'm trying to tell y'all. I couldn't breathe, and I had to make this video right away. So I'm going to talk to y'all for about 5 minutes, and then we're going to watch like a 10-minute video. And we're going to be talking about how the mouth of God is the vagina. Okay, so when the scriptures say that God spoke something into existence, God spoke the creation into existence, it means birthed. And we know that Adam and Eve was spoken to creation or birthed through the vagina. Okay, so listen to this. This was so funny because I'm sitting here looking up these words. Now I got a video that I want y'all to watch, but I'm sitting here looking up these words. And the reason why I was sitting here laughing and my breath was just taken away, okay. I will show y'all. Okay, so look, okay, so I'm sitting here looking at mouth, okay. And it say poom. Poom. Now y'all know that they be calling the vagina the poom poom for slang, okay? I just sit here, I'm like, OMG, this is not real. This is not real. I couldn't breathe. I'm just like I'm just like what in the world? So the word for mouth is poom. So and you they be calling the vagina the poom poom. I'm not trying to be, y'all know, but I'm trying to be real with y'all, okay? I'm not trying to be perverse. I'm trying to be real though, okay? It is 2:00 in the morning. So poom, the mouth, okay. It's a mouths, okay. Literal or figuratively. Come from this word pay, okay. The mouth. So it's a accord, accordance, accordance, accorded, according, appoint, beak, boast, boasting, collar, command, commandment, counsel. We talked about the daughter being the counsel. Dictated, dictation, edge, edges, end, evidence, face. So the vagina is the face of God. I'm going to show y'all this. Wait till we get to the video. I'm going to show y'all all of this. Hunger, intent, jaws, just, lips. Okay, what do we call the vagina? We say the vagina got vagina lips, right? The mouth, much, one end to the other. One end to the other. Keep that in mind because it's going to be important when we come to the video. One end to another, opening, parts, portion. Now your wife is your portion from heaven. Promised, okay. Proportion, proportionate, said, say, to speak, speech, sound, spoke, spoken, spokesman, talking, taste, terms, told, two-edged, uniformly. What they say, this is the two-edged sword, okay? Whenever it wishes, words. I told y'all that Mary was the word, and somebody gave me a really good scripture. And I said, thank you, sister, but I don't know if it's a sister or a brother after I looked at their name, switching lanes. So I was like, oh, I don't know if maybe that's a guy. But thank you. That proved that exactly what was revealed to me was that the word was the logos. The logos is the image. The image was male and female, which is why Christ said there is no male or female in Christ. Christ can be male or female. Okay. So listen. Well, okay, so no comment. Let's continue. Just stay on subject. According as after, appoint, assent, collar, command, edge, end. The mouth as the means of blowing, whether literal or figurative, particular speech, specifically edge, portion or side. Okay, so yeah, adverbally with preposition according to, according, after, appoint, ascent, collar, command, eat, edge, entry, file, whole, mind, mouth, part, portion, should, sing, sentence. Now skirt. Skirt. Okay, what is under a woman's skirt? Of course, it's her vagina. Sound, speech, spoken, talk, tenor, to edge, which word? Okay. Okay. So to cleave in pieces, okay? So to cleave, we know you're supposed to cleave to your wife, and this word is to cut in pieces, scatter into corners, okay? And we know that the daughters are the cornerstone. Psalms 144 says that the daughters may be to the similitude of a palace, polished to the similitude of the cornerstones of the palace, okay? Don't, not at the exact words, but similar. We're not going to go there just to save time. So the mouth of God is the vagina. Blew me away, right? So we was talking about Mary being God with us, Emmanuel. And Mary's name, I believe, means to speak, okay? To speak into existence. So women have the power to speak into existence. Let's see if we can find a definition. So Mary are Israelite priest, so we know Mary was a priest, a Nazarite. Okay, Mara. Okay, so I don't know exactly where it is right at this moment. So it means rebellious, bitter, beloved, wish for a child, star to see, all of these other things. But it also means to speak into existence. Okay, so we'll look at that in another video. So I want is 220. That's my birthday, y'all. 220. That's my number. So I want to go ahead and show y'all this video from Lifting the Veil, and it's going to trip y'all out when we get to this particular part, because I'm going to show y'all the mouth right on the vagina, the face right. It's crazy. Listen.
That these symbols meant something good in the past, and all these bad guys use it for something bad, and so he wants to rectify, he wants to bring life back to him. So now he's using these Luciferian and Masonic symbols for that purpose. That was his explanation.
And it's so typical. It's so typical.
I think there's no need for symbols. I mean, I think there's,
but let's say you do.
A logo, you can do a design. But... even on his art, because he has art on his webpage. It's very Masonic. I mean, you'll catch the Eye of Providence, you'll catch pyramids, you'll catch everything.
Hey guys, Cullen Smith here. Welcome back to Lifting the Veil. I began to notice that it became very apparent of how it manifests in so many ways, as above, so below the belt in the esoteric anatomy, as I've discovered and written here in the book. And it's also directly proportioned into a phi ratio, which is so that's another one of my original additions. And so I want to highlight here how particularly the length of the urogenital and anal triangles together is proportional to the golden mean proportion, wherein the length of the anal triangle equates to ratio of 1, whereas the ratio of the urogenital measurement corresponds to the measurement of B, which is 0.618. Ratio of 1 to 618 is proportional, wherein if you shrink this down, scale it, and so when we flip this and you measure from the apex of the pubic arch way down to the anal sphincter, you also get again the golden ratio yet again, but it just measuring from different reference points. So we're literally just flipping the golden proportion and measuring it again, and then when we shrink it down again and we measure from the apex of the pubic archway down to the anal sphincter, we also get the golden proportion yet again, measuring from the urogenital triangle region to just the length of the apex of the pubic archway to the anal sphincter yet again. So that's 3 ways that the golden proportion is measured right here in the perineal section. And, I swore to myself I wasn't going to make any new discoveries and make this a huge long thing, but of course I couldn't help myself. I ended up making these huge discoveries that correspond with so much of all of my other work. And so obviously what we can tell by what I've noticed here with the muscle structure of the perineal muscles of the female is, of course, it directly corresponds with the ancient terracotta goddess depictions of the fertility goddess statues, these fertility goddess figurines both from Egypt as well as from ancient Cretan style and Minoan style Greek goddess statues, wherein they depicted the labyrinth at the center of her womb, because the goddess uterus, as well as the goddess, the internal organs, the entrails, is literally was literally the Greek labyrinth. And so we will cover this so much more in depth in my Symbols of Power Navigating the Maze full film that will be complete sometime. But so this is the exact representation, the exact synchronistic correspondence with how the female urethra directly corresponds with the location of the goddess head, as well as the distinctive.
So he said the urethra is the goddess head. Okay, it's God's face. Okay, which is why we get the word face for mouth and skirt and all of those other words. So this is the divine proportion, the golden ratio. Okay, this is the golden ratio. And what made me think about this is I was watching a video that was shared in my Facebook group, and they was talking about all of this stuff, and I was explaining in the comments about the golden ratio, and then it all just clicked. Okay, that the face and the mouth and the word and the and so when I went to look it up and it said pom pom, I was just like, OMG, I lost my breath.
Notorious upraised arms, and it's the exact same style of her feet emanating out in sort of a hyperboloid shape. And so I found this just completely blowing my mind. And so, of course, these figurines were the symbols of goddess fertility, of goddess fecundity, and of the fertility of life. Hence the womb as the origin of her labyrinth, her caverns, of her cavernosum. And so, of course, this fits with what I was just mentioning earlier on about how many different ways in my work that it directly, and we will cover much deeper in future films about how this corresponds to above the belt as well. But so we are just covering how it's literally a fractal version. You're literally a fractal homunculus of yourself. Literally, on the female goddess is literally a fractal version of herself depicted in her perineal muscles. And so this is of course where again I've found the perineal ankh, literally the origin, if not the one of the most fundamental origins of.
Let's say the gateway, the mouth. OMG.
The ankh shape itself. Literally, the ankh is the symbol of life and fertility and death and rebirth and resurrection. Literally the exact symbolism of the human female perineum, because of course the loop, that significant loop, or the what is known as the ru, which literally means mouth or gateway. And again, as Symbols of Power Part 2, we're referring to the south mouth, specifically. The gateway, the vaginal gateway, the passageway between realms, which is literally the exact shape of where the child passes through the perineal muscles, through literally the gateway, through the south mouth, the ankh, the portal of life, which is literally the vaginal passageway, as well as also literally the ru shape of the sacred egg, of the vaginal passageway, literally the exact same shape as the pregnant stage of the pregnant uterus, the exact same sacred egg.
There were secret societies that were involved in founding this country. Who were they, and what were they trying to?
An egg shape. And I mean, this is entirely uncharted territory that I'm covering here, and I mean, this has not ever been revealed before. And so again, the whole entire human brain and human skull is literally composed of the golden ratio egg geometry, as we covered back in Symbols of Power Part 3. But again, this corresponds exactly to the golden ratio egg, because notice how the pineal gland sits directly towards the back end of the brain and not directly dead center at the midline. Okay, so since I just ended up showing you that image of the golden mean spiral and the human skull, although that golden mean spiral, which is actually, which applies to the nautilus shell, that golden mean spiral actually really only applies to an elongated skull, as depicted here. But whereas a normal skull that's not elongated whatsoever actually follows a logarithmic spiral. Alright guys, I'm terribly sorry, but that we are out of time. That's all the time that we have for this.
Okay, so I definitely recommend going to subscribe to him, this 303, and really checking out his series. Oh my God, so much information. So much information. Okay, so let's pull this back up, because I think one of the words was proportion. Okay, yep, proportion. Look, proportion. Do y'all see it? Portion, promise, proportion. So the divine proportions, the golden ratio, the mouth of God is the vagina, okay? And this is why over there in Mecca, over there in Arabia, they have their women cover their faces, and because you're supposed to cover your private area. So they, but one other thing I want to say is about over there in Mecca. Okay, they worship the cobblestone, which is it looked like a vagina. It is a vagina, okay, which we just showed is the golden ratio. Now, why do they got this cobblestone sitting there? Because I just watched a video that said Mecca is like the mouth of earth. It's the golden ratio of earth. It's the mouth or the vagina of earth, and they have a stone over there that represents the vagina. I'm gonna let that sit with y'all. I don't know. What do that mean? That's the mouth of earth over there. That's Canaan, okay? Is that the motherland? That's the vagina, the birth, I don't know what y'all think about that. So shalom family, I'm gonna wrap this up. This was a real quick one because it didn't take long to prove with the word being poom and all. But I'm going to let that sit with y'all. Shalom, family. Love you guys. Till we meet again.